I joined a draft league. If you don't know what a draft league is basically where you get to pick a bunch of Pokemon and enter a tournament week by week and do battle. The draft league I'm joining is the Cosmopolitan Dueling Championship. I really wish they picked an easier name to say, but I haven't done a draft league like this in about 2 years, but I've been doing draft leagues for about 3 years. Yes, I did this when I was 13. This is depressing. So let's go over my picks. Before we get to that, I forgot to mention, there's 3 divisions: the Terrakion division, Cobalion division, and Verizon division. I'm part of the Terrakion division, and I don't know how many people go to playoffs. I should probably check that out. I'm gonna guess top 4, maybe. I don't know actually. But we're in the Terrakion division, where our competitors are actually pretty tough. I think. Sorry, the other 2. I know you guys are watching this. But let's start with my first pick. I got the number 6 overall pick, which is kind of not a great spot to be in because it's a snake draft, so I don't get the picks back immediately. So I'm going mainly just hoping to get the Pokemon I want and cover my bases because I haven't done this in a really long time. So my first overall pick, I'm going with Chiampao. The only reason I picked this is because it was one of the most expensive Pokemon, and I used it in a previous video. Go check that out. It's not out yet, actually. Be out soon. I keep watching for that, I guess. But I really like using it. It's a fast offensive attacker. That's personally my playstyle. I'm gonna wait to upload this after week 1, so you guys don't know about this, which actually happened in 40 minutes. Anyway, so that's my main pick there. I want to pair it up with a setup user, which was kind of hard. Again, I have to wait a long time and just hope I don't get my pick taken. So let's jump to that. So while I was waiting for my turn, the Pokemon I was wanting to get was Glamora. I haven't played enough Gen 9 to know this, but basically the Pokemon the champion uses Rock Poison type, and I actually got it. People were upset about that, but I got it. Basically, mainly the ability allows it to set up toxic spikes, as well as it being decently bulky, allows it to cover some of Chiampao's weakness, but this also just leaves a glaring fighting type weakness overall that I'm not able to cover, as well as a huge ground type weakness if I don't use an air balloon on Glamora. So for the next pick, I picked Slowbro. Maybe I reached for it, maybe a little bit, but I needed a bulky water type because those were going out of sale, as well as it has the ability to teleport, giving me the chance to pivot, as well as it being able to cover both Glamora's and Chiampao's weaknesses. So I think that was very important. Wait, something I forgot to mention. The draft was a point style draft. So you get a certain amount of points to spend on Pokemon. They're worth different points. The better the Pokemon, the more points it costs. For example, Chiampao costs 19 points and Charmander costs 1. So I forgot to add that bit of context. Please add that in later. Okay, on to pick number 4 and 5. For pick number 4, I know I reached for it, but I got the Pokemon I wanted later, so it's fine. I picked Rotom Heat because I wanted a fire type. That's kind of it. It's also a special attacker because I was running out of physical attackers at that point. So I feel like at the moment I panicked and just picked Rotom, but I'm okay with it. It was the lowest point pick at the time, which I really could have gotten better, but I think it's going to work fine. Volt Switch allows me to pivot, really strong Overheat, Sunny Day. Also takes advantage of other fire types in the team, other fire type teams, sun teams, thank you, that are in the division. And if I really wanted to play risky, could counter some rain teams in the division, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. Okay, so at this point, I started to get my head out of my ass. So I wanted a grass type and a physical attacker that didn't cost too much. At this point, I was kind of running. I started to become aware of my points, like a bad existential crisis. Existential crises aren't good. Anyway, so there was one option I saw that I really liked. I also did some research by looking at some draft videos online. So I picked Hisuian Lilligant. It's fast. It hits pretty hard with grass and fighting types, so it allows me to cover some semblance of normal types because I don't have any other fighting types in my draft. So that's why I picked that. And then I think for my next pick number 6, I think I got a steal. I think it worked pretty well. I got Garchomp in the 6th round. Realized I didn't really have any strong electric type coverage or dragon coverage except for my number 1 pick. But I needed a backup and also more of like a wrench because there was a lot of electric types that I was scared of. And before I forget, you're allowed to terrestrialize one Pokemon, and one of them has to be the normal type, and one of them has to be but can be a different type. So Garchomp is my Terra type user. Have it ground and fire. Hopefully, this comes out after week 1. Hopefully I get to use it in week 1. If not, I will cry. Okay, so for pick 7 and 8, I wanted to complete my Dragon Fairy Steel Core. I just feel like it's necessary, even if I don't have a plan. I don't like to use weather a lot, so I don't go into those types of niches. I like to fight weather just because like I get really annoyed and I get like I like to fight things I'm annoyed with. You know, it's therapeutic. I need to go to therapy. But for my fairy type, it only costs 9 points, so I feel like it was kind of worth it. It's Mimikyu. I want another physical attacker as well as a strong counter to dragons, fighting types, and dark types. Basically more of another backup, as well as covering some psychic types because of the ghost type. I also just think Mimikyu is cute and I wanted to use it. And then after that, to finish it, I originally picked Reverum, but during the grace period, I switched it out for Bronzong. It's a little bulkier and allows me to set up more with like screens and stealth rocks and a strong fairy type counter. Okay, so with this next pick, there's a little bit of a story. When the pick was made, I was asleep because there's people from other time zones. I think the leader's British. I will. So I was dead asleep and I gave my points to someone else. But I did this the day before when I still needed a fire type. So my backup for Rotom Heat was Ceruledge. So I woke up with 9 points less and seeing Ceruledge on my list after I already had a Ghost and fire type. So I panicked, and I'm not good in social situations. I'm not good at asking people for stuff. So I'm like rapidly like, hey guys, please, can I change? It worked. It was fine. So instead of Ceruledge, I picked Altaria, which was 2 points. I reached for it. I could have gotten a bunch of other stuff better, but I wanted another flying. I wanted a flying type, so I can like hard counter ground types, as well as another dragon type in case Garchomp fucking dies. Basically, nice tailwind setter, has some decent access to fairy moves, as well as like can knock some things off guard. I don't know why I picked it. I just liked the fluffy bird. And then the next pick I chose was Hisuian Electrode. Basically, really fast, third fastest Pokemon in the game if you don't choose Regieleki or regular Electrode, and has access to basically a really strong move right off the bat. Pretty much can use it once, can OHKO a lot of things with Chloroblast. Sorry. So I'm hoping to make that work. That cost me about 4 points, and it was my second to last pick of the draft. Actually, I'm a liar. That actually wasn't my second to last pick of the draft. My actual second to last pick of the draft was Greedent, because it was at the point where I was low on points and I was just picking up some random stuff. Greedent, I think, is underrated. Still hate the fucker, but he's bulky, and if you like stick a choice band on him with cheek powder, it should be really annoying. Make sure this fucker doesn't die. Choice band, max defense, max HP, can live some hits. Basically any strong fighting type move dead, but I can catch some things off guard, kill some strong Pokemon without thinking. And for my final pick of the draft was Ampharos, because that was the last pick, and I panicked. Didn't realize I already had a strong electric type, 2 of them actually. And I was like, okay, Adrian, you're the last pick of the draft. And I'm like, I was like at a park somewhere. I was like, okay, you know what? We'll go. And I traded out to get Bronzong with the trade for Revroom. So basically, Revroom was 6 points, Ampharos was 3, and Bronzong was 9. So I just basically traded those 2 to get the Bronzong. Overall, I feel like the trade was good. Ampharos was gone, although I'll use it one day, maybe. I don't know. I already had 2 strong electric types, so I didn't want to double up on that. So those are the picks. I don't know how well I'll do. I'll try to do my best to get the playoffs, though I haven't done that in a draft league that wasn't my own. I'm going to summarize this draft league at the end of it, I think. Just like I did for my personal draft league, which will be back never. I actually don't know. We started another season, but it stopped. So yeah, that's my draft league. I don't know how to end these. I'm not good at making these type of videos. This is more off the cuff. I said like I'm gonna make a video because I have no other content, and my editor is struggling. But me too. So it's fine. We're gonna get this done. So introducing the Chesapeake Chandelures. I would do Sword Dancing Scissors like my other one, but I got nervous because someone else already had Scizor. Yeah. Anyway, bye.